So in the last tutorial we asked the user what their name was. We then allowed them to type something into the text window, and we stored what they typed in into a variable called name, and then we wrote down whatever their name was. At this point I'd like to get a little bit more insulting to the user and tell them what a stupid name they have. To do this we're going to use what's called concatenation, which just means to put two things together. Let's see why we need it. So if I were to say write line name is a stupid name and run that program, whoa, we got some error messages pop up. Quite usefully it tells us this on line 3 and that we've got 5 arguments given and it only needs 1. When it talks about arguments, it's talking about what goes inside the brackets, the things we pass into a job. For example, in this first line we only passed it one thing, one string, and that string of information was enclosed within those speech marks. In this case, because there's no speech marks, it thinks that this is 5 different variable names. Now we know that only name is a variable, so we could go and put speech marks around the whole thing to make it one argument. But those of you who have got your head screwed on will realise the problem with this, in that it just says name is a stupid name. And the reason it says name and not whatever you typed in is because we're now saying just write name. So we definitely don't want that to be part of our string. So we've got something here that looks a little bit better. We've got the variable name and then we've got the string that we want to write following on from it, and if we run that we still have the argument that there is 2 arguments and we only want to give it 1. To join these two things together we just simply use a plus sign, and this will string both of these ideas together and turn it into a string that it prints. So if we run that one last time, what is your name? Tom. Tom is a stupid name. We've got one last error here, and that is that after Tom we're missing a space. So Tom of course was being printed from within the variable name, so we really want a space after that. Well, I can see a space in here, and even if I add lots of other spaces and run the program, you'll notice that actually it doesn't run any different. We still don't have the spaces in there. That's simply because the program ignores white space, this blank spacing in between. We could have the program without any spaces at all. It just makes things harder to read. And as you'll find more and more with writing code, the tidier you write it, the more likely you are to get a very good job and make lots of money. It's also easier to read, but it's all about the money. So to resolve this problem, why don't we instead put a space in here? It's within the string that we're writing, but we know with strings that any character, including spaces that we type, is printed to the text window. So if we run that one last time, what is your name? My name is Tom. Tom is a stupid name. Wonderful.